Hey guys, welcome back to Shep Talk and welcome back to Shep Talk Movie Reviews. Before we get into the review though, a quick admin note. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification or that bell icon so that way you can be notified when I upload a video. I'm also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All those links will be down below in the description, so make sure you follow me on social media. Now let's get to the review of Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl was directed by Kenneth Branagh, stars Freda Shaw, Josh Gad, Colin Farrell, Lauren McDonald, Judi Dench, I should say. Quick synopsis: a young man is trying to get back his father, who has been kidnapped by an unknown figure from a hidden society. Artemis Fowl was released on Disney Plus on June 12th, 2020. Wow, where to begin with this review? I'm going to apologize up front because I usually try to separate the movies based on books from the books themselves. But sometimes when a movie pretty much throws out the book's source material, I like to address it. If you guys don't know, I'm an avid book reader, also listener because I do listen to audiobooks a lot. And when this movie was first announced for theatrical re-release, I decided to do a reread of the series just to remind myself of where this movie came from. My first indicator that this movie was not going to be any good is when a studio decides to push back a movie's release date. It shows that the studio lacks confidence that the movie is going to be any good. Then when Disney releases, when the second release date comes upon us, the studio pushes it back, this time without a release date being associated with it. And yes, the second pushback was mostly due to the whole COVID pandemic, but when you don't even attach a release date to your movie, that is just another indicator that the studio has no confidence in it. All the other movies that got pushed back pretty much had a release date. Then, out of the blue, Disney puts out a statement saying that Artemis Fowl is now going to be released on Disney Plus. This to me is good and a bad thing. Good for Disney because they have been lacking any new content on their streaming platform, but that's something we can get into another time. This is bad for Artemis Fowl though, that at first this was scheduled to have a theatrical release, and then Disney decided it would be a better fit for their streaming service. Sorry guys, my machine is messing up, so I'm going to do this old school way, have my notes in front of me, and pretty much do this off the cuff. So yes, so Friday I sat down to watch this movie without going into it with high hopes. Actually, I pretty much thought this was going to be a dumpster fire to begin with. And I even was texting my friend Tyler, who has a YouTube channel and had already done this review. Go to my homepage, my front page, and you'll see his channel on the side. And if you want to see his review, I was telling him, man, I have so many notes on this thing already. I don't really know where I'm going to come from. I try to have positivity in a lot of my reviews. I try to, unless the movie, just like this one, just completely sucks all that positivity out of me. I could bring up the cinematography. For the most part, the cinematography did a good job, but I'm not going to try to sell you this movie, guys, okay? Just because to throw out a positivity does not make this movie any better. First and foremost, one of my major complaints about this movie is that you're changing fundamental characteristics about the source material you're getting for it. Artemis Fowl is not a good guy, at least not at the beginning of this movie. And even the book series, he is not supposed to be a good guy. He is a master criminal. He is a genius who is trying to make sure his criminal family survives while his father is disappeared and everybody presumes him dead. Artemis Fowl is one of the few people that doesn't assume that he is dead and believes he's still alive, and he's trying to get the fairy gold so that way he has money to go after looking for his father. There is no opal in this one. No one knows his father is still alive in the first book. I get it, they were trying to blend some of the second book into the first one. That was a big mistake in my thinking. You tried to do too much. You already had enough source material to do a movie for 90 minutes, and then you change the fundamental being of your character. Artemis Fowl is not a character that wears jeans and a t-shirt, goes surfing. That is not him at all. He is a suit and tie kid. He wants to be treated as an adult. He does not care what other teenagers think of him. He is on his own mission. He is also usually 3 or 4 steps ahead of anybody else. But in this movie, they really try to make you think that he is a surface level genius at best. Let's talk about Holly Short. Holly Short in the books is a character that has had to put up with a lot of BS in her career. She is not a fresh-faced recruit that has conflicts. She has put up with a lot of BS because she's in a male-dominated workforce, and she is one of the first females to be put on this commando force, which this movie just glossed over because they seem to want to be, let's make this a society where females were already inclusive. I thought that was one of her best qualities, was that Holly Short was take no names, get stuff done, and I'm going to break through any barriers that you see. And this movie really didn't portray that for me. They seem to portray her as this fresh off the boat recruit that had confidence issues and that had other issues that just didn't really seem to be, true to the Holly Short character overall. And her mentor, Commander Root, was supposed to be this gruff as nails, 80s to 90s police chief that's pounding on the desk saying, turn in your gun and your badge kind of person. And I'm sorry, Judi Dench, you dropped the ball on this. You got a paycheck and you phoned it in. You did not belong in this movie whatsoever. I get it, you have a relationship with Kenneth Branagh and he probably reached out to you, but you should not have been Commander Root. I don't care that they changed Commander Root's character from a male to a female when there really wasn't any need to, but you just didn't deliver the lines. You did not portray that commander that just was grab life by the balls and not let go. I was very disappointed in the performance that was given. And God, Josh Gad, there's a time and place, people. You do not need to keep putting in these people that are known and expensive actors into your movie and then get performances like this. Josh Gad, Judi Dench, Colin Farrell. Oh my God, it's like you guys took the paycheck and then decided you didn't need to give it your all. The performances, and they're just not them. Was it Freda Shaw? I can't remember what the kid's name was. I get it. You're new to the feature film industry, I think. I think this was your first one. You really just needed to have someone that was already an actor, a child actor that had proven themselves, that could carry the film. And I'm sorry, the kid that played Artemis Fowl just didn't do it for me. It's just, the performances in here really suck. It's if you're going to have someone like Colin Farrell, you need to make sure, I think this really took away from it, because now you wanted to have Colin Farrell more in this movie because he's a big name actor, when in the first book, he's not in it at all. There's mention of him, but there's not in it. I get it, you can use him as a flashback type material, but he should not have had as big a role as he did in this movie. And then goddamn, let's talk about Foley, who is probably one of the most genius characters in the fairy world. He's touched and pretty much invented everything that the police force in the fairy world use, but you're going to regulate him to a background character with a few lines when he was a smart-ass centaur that was smart and paranoid and could have had a really great comedic effect. Take Josh Gad's character, or take Josh Gad and put him into Foley character, we might have had a better character than the Mulch Dickens that he gave us. Mulch Dickens had a role in this movie, but they kind of made him bigger, again, due to hiring Josh Gad because they wanted this big name actor. But yeah, Foley has a storyline throughout all the series, but you regulated him to a background character. I get it, his cost as a CGI character probably was more than you guys were looking for, but I think you had a budget of like $120 million. Budget some of that for a character that has big time ramifications moving forward in your series. From start to finish, this movie had issues. Hollywood needs to stop buying these popular books and then changing them just to change them. I get it. You can't always complete a book from a book to movie transition 100%. You got to maybe merge some stuff, cut away some of the non-important stuff or stuff that just seems to drag. But that doesn't mean you change the fundamentals of the book itself. You have fans that are going to want to watch this movie because of what they read in the book. Stop saying that you wanted to change things up so that the fans that read the books would have something more to look forward to when going into the movies. I don't care if you do a line-by-line read of the book into the movie. I would still love it for the simple fact that you stay true to the book. But the fact that you keep changing things too much because you don't seem to understand what it was that the fans found in that book is really telling. You did it with Ender's Game. You made that into a god-awful movie. You did that with the last reiteration of The Count of Monte Cristo. Here's one book that I will say that you guys did good on. Ready Player One. There was so much stuff in that book that there was no way you were going to be able to transition it to a movie. Do I still have issues with that movie? Yes, but I can enjoy that movie for what it is. Another one, Starship Troopers. Book, fantastic. Really talks about some of the political issues that are going on in society. But the movie really is not Starship Troopers. You have to separate those two together. But I don't get the thinking of Hollywood that we want to pick up a property and then change it totally so that way it is pretty much its own thing. It sucks. This movie sucks. The execution sucks. Kenneth Branagh, my God, sir, you are better than this. How did you let this go on? This should have been something you were born for. It has the mythic element. It has the modern element. Blend it together, it is a good story. You went and got big name actors. They should have given you better performances than what they did. So that means either one, they took the paycheck and phoned it in, or two, that the writing was so bad on this movie that there is nothing those big name actors could have done with it. Three, you changed fundamental things that worked, that drove the characters moving forward. Now that I don't see anything going forward, you guys set it up for a sequel. My God, if you make a sequel, I think it's going to be even a bigger dumpster fire than what you did with this. So I think I'm going to cut it short here, guys. I could go on and on. I've really gone off topic. Artemis Fowl gets 1 Shep out of 5. If I could give it 0, I would give it 0. This is pretty much the top one running into worst movie for 2020. If you've seen it already, let me know down in the comments down below what you thought about it. If you haven't seen it already, please skip it. It's not worth your watch. It's an hour and a half you'll never get back in your life. But guys, that's all I have time for today. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Helps my channel out greatly. And if you did like this video, check out some of these videos over here, because I'm sure there'll be something else that you'll enjoy. But guys, that's all I have time for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.